Start recording.
So Kami over here moving off on his own is what gets him killed. If he had gone back this way, he would have been fine. And then Chris continues coming this way and dies eventually in the same way.
Yeah, I tried to save Kami and I was like, oh shoot.
And then Louis coming to follow gets him pretty heavily pushed. And then you guys are forced off the point. So whenever a situation like this happens, get out and regroup as fast as you can. It's right here. This is way too early to start pushing. You guys have at least one person in spawn. And then Sombra over here, Tracer's off over here, and the rest of your team hasn't even gotten to the choke yet. So you should have waited until they started pushing the front line. You guys are just feeding their McCree right now. And then the rest of you, Lucio and Louis keep pushing up, which is what got Lucio killed.
So actually, I have a question for you. When we're like regrouping, right? Is it better to just like in this case right here? Is it better just to literally sit and spawn, or try to push up as far as you can, like to the
It
next floor?
depends. Well, it's best to sit and spawn until everyone's at least almost alive. So when there's like maybe half a second left on someone's respawn, then you can start pushing out of spawn. But you don't want to push up because then you'll be feeding their McCree. So like, they have 4 ults, and that was simply because like 3 of you fed the living crap out of them. So yeah, it's better to regroup and spawn if you can. It's like this is good. Sparky working on trying to get a flank. Although, so the Bridget being here alone, my pen thing will work. Here we go. So the Bridget being here alone, you don't want to push on her because she has more sustainability than Roadhog does. Would have been better if you had flanked around maybe by this mini or on the point and then either hacked the Reinhardt and then called out the Bridget saying, hey, Bridget's top right. And then you guys could have pushed on either the rest of the team came up and pushed on her alone while she was alone, or maybe focused her down in some other way. And then both of you duel her for a while and waste a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we got
While the
a
rest of your team gets destroyed by the EMP. Yeah, you guys were a little too tunneled. And then the idea to switch to full dive. So here you guys switch to triple tank. The triple tank on Alucia, that part's okay, but Sombra isn't going to be near enough damage for triple tank. So if you're ever going to run triple tank, if you have a Lucio, then you can run Reaper because his increased mobility will allow him to get around better.
Mm.
Or Junkrat because he has very high burst damage. Nice shutdown on there, Sombra. So right here, at least one of you knows there's 2 people on this half, and then these 3 know that there's 2 people on this half. So what you could have done is divided and conquered. Have the Sombra push on these 2 squishies over here, have the rest of the team push on these 2 tanks. And while they're alone, that's an easy way to get rid of them. Like at this point, them being right there, they're feeding really hard. And you guys do push on the Reinhardt and get him killed. But yeah, their Sombra and McCree just walked through your backline. That's another problem. biggest thing I notice in lower ranks is punishing. It doesn't happen near as much as it should. So like if you guys are running maybe a Bridget Ryan Zarya and they're running dive and the monkey jumps in your back line, you guys can call out to focus monkey down and the Bridget stuns him and you guys focus the living crap out of him. Easy pick. So the Mei Hanzo here was an interesting choice.
We do a lot of those.
It's a nice rotation onto the high ground. You can see Lucio watching for the Sombra.
Yeah, I saw the Sombra come over.
Yeah, so that's a problem. You guys didn't follow the order to drop down. So here, your Reinhardt pushes up way too far. I can't see his name because the resolution is garbage. And then
Oh, it's me.
this gets the rest of your team killed because he's up here. The rest of your team is over here, and you guys go to follow because, stay behind the shield. The shield is now in the enemy backline, and they just collapse on you. That's what loses you guys. That loses this. Well, almost loses this run for you guys. So if you ever get in a situation like this where there's only like 2 or 3 of you and you know you're not going to be able to get out, just stand still and let them kill you. Like Sheriff sitting up here, he wasted a lot of time. Like he just sits up there till the McCree comes over here and kills him, and that's way too much time he wasted instead of grouping up.
I think we're also too worried about the Sombra, maybe maybe like hyper worried.
Well, it's
I don't know.
good to be worried about the Sombra, but as soon as you hear her, this is a problem. Reinhardt's up here alone. The rest of your team is turning around. If you guys are going to turn around to focus the Sombra, make sure your Rein is safe. And again, your team splits up. Yeah, their Sombra's doing a very, very hard carry job by simply existing. So yeah, I see what you mean now. If their Sombra shows up, maybe have like one person start pressuring her, but not leaving the team to focus her down. Because you guys, so you had like 3 people turned towards her, which made the pressure on the front line disappear. So then their front line destroyed your Reinhardt, and then you guys turned your attention to the front line, and then the Sombra was able to clean up.
So in this case, who would it be? Who would have been the best person to be on Sombra duty? Is it like the Zen, or would it be like the DPS?
Zen, if he's skilled enough. If he's not confident in his skill, then get maybe a Roadhog or a McCree. But all you need to simply do is make sure, basically pretty much scare her so then she transes out. Chris, the only one waiting. So I like this approach you guys tried to do.
I actually didn't realize the Sombra was just chasing us.
Yeah, she did that the entire game pretty much. So that was a great play by the Sombra. She hacked you and pretty much just left. And that got your Reinhardt killed. Or not Reinhardt, Junkrat, sorry. That is not something you ever want to do unless you know the fight is lost. 90% of the time, blindly charging into a team of 4 people will get you killed. Guaranteed.
Yeah, honestly, in my mind, I was like, okay, 2 of my teammates died.
Like, yeah, it's okay to do it if you know you've lost. That was a waste of a graph. So that's the first one. But yeah, most of that. So Chris, you have a lot to work on. Most of it involves not being too aggressive. Here I started filming a little more passively.
The problem is most of us play individually super aggressive.
Yeah, we're all very aggressive individuals.
That's all right. You just need to figure out a way to work together with that aggressiveness. Like if it's okay to be aggressive, but if you're going to be that aggressive as a team. Because if you're all rushing forward onto the point, there's not much the enemy can do. But if there's only one or two of you, they can shut down those two.
Right.
Don't push past your tanks, especially if you're support. Tanks are supposed to make space, not supports. So this was an interesting idea, the using the payload as a shield. And it did work for quite a while, which I was surprised to see.
Yeah, I was actually surprised at how well we managed to push on this map against them.
D.Va
I think
pushing
my
off
problem, the problem that I have with Brigitte is that I can never seem to nail down the Genji. Like I've noticed this, if there's ever an enemy Genji, like I somehow I either miss the bash or he's always just a step out of my reach.
So if that's happening, then sit right next to. So think about who Genji on your team would target, and stay near them as much as possible, and then you can protect them pretty much with your life. So, Sheriff pushing on the Genji was good. D.Va peeling for the backline, that's something you pretty much never see at low ranks. But chasing him around was bad. Once you pushed him out of line of sight of your team, you should have gone back to the front. But continuing to pressure him is good.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, like we got a little bit too split apart. I think. Yeah, I got slept there.
Well, we
You
broke
guys
the
are
D.Va.
running triple tank.
Oh, wait, no,
with this. So yeah, again, the lack of damage. Your biggest damage dealer in this comp would be the Bridget. Sorry, I didn't see what was happening. I was paying attention to the comp. So, Sheriff got demeched because he pushed too far forward. So, with what you guys were trying to do, was using the payload as a shield. That was a good idea. And proof of that is Sheriff pushing past the payload and getting destroyed. Because once you moved past that quote-unquote barrier, there's nothing to protect you. Your Matrix doesn't last long enough to get you out of a bad situation. And then from there, it just... Again, with Bridget and Louis push past the payload, you guys got picked, and then from there, they just snowball over you guys. So against their team comp, so their Genji was kind of off doing his own thing, but the Widow was uncontested like 90% of the time, which is a very big problem, because if she was hitting more headshots, you guys wouldn't have even turned this corner.
Yeah, I missed the shield bash there because I was looking at the team and the Genji came around. If I'd been looking around the corner, I could have nailed him.
Yeah, you guys left your Ana. Yeah, so they're the reason you guys started losing that fight was because the Genji just dashed into your backline uncontested, which distracted your Ana, preventing the rest of your team from getting heals, and then he killed your Ana, which just made that situation worse. So again, you have to think about who Genji would target and how you can protect them.
Yeah, I think
Who just fell down the stairs?
yeah, we need the supports to be more vocal about if they're getting targeted or not.
Yeah,
I
if
think
there's
that-
anyone in the back line at any point in time, call them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a good dive, and then as soon as your shield broke, you should have started pushing away. That was what got you killed. So when your main tank dies, you want to push back and regroup, because without your Winston, their Widow has free space, their Genji doesn't have much problem running through your back line, except when he runs into Chris, who could hook him. And then again, someone splitting off from the rest of the team. So you being here would have been okay if the rest of your team wasn't involved in a team fight. Because that brings it down to a 4v6, and that's never a winning fight. Yeah, so the biggest consistent problem I'm seeing is knowing when to get out. So if you're playing Roadhog and you're stuck in the entire enemy team, just let them kill you. Because using your breather is just giving them more ult charge.
Yeah.
Triple tank Hammond. So on this map, I wouldn't recommend Hammond much, simply because there's not much to swing around on once you get around here. That and it's super enclosed. The only thing you can do really is hook onto here and then slam on there, and with their comp, you don't want to do that. So again, your team is split up. And then the Genji uncontested in the back line. You guys do start pressuring him. See, but again, you've got a tank here, 2 tanks here, and then your other 2 squishies on cart. Split up way too much. Like, this Widow standing here, she probably scored over 2,000 damage from that one spot alone.
How did the Genji die right next to her?
Yeah, so the reason you guys won that fight was because the Roadhog and the Hammond just dropping onto the point like that brought a huge unexpected presence, and the enemy team wasn't able to compensate fast enough for it. So right here, you guys coming through this door, I would recommend sitting on either side until the payload pushes to about here, because otherwise you guys are just open targets for like the Ana, who almost has nano boost soon. Yeah, again, the Genji's uncontested until Sparky comes along. Yeah, so here... Oh, you guys got pulled. That wasn't entirely your fault. But yeah, you guys were pushing too far forward. And then wasted a couple ultimates. So here you guys keep fighting on point. You should have either let them kill you or jumped off the convenient cliff over here to regroup with your team. You guys are just... Like, you are forcing them to use ults, which is good. But their spawn is much closer than your guys's are. And you're dying much faster than they are. Terrible resolution. Yeah, again, the Genji's in the middle of your team. So as soon as you guys saw the Genji dash into your team, he made like a silver level mistake. He dashed into your entire team, and you guys did finally chase him for that and forced him out. But got picked by the Widow, who is, again, completely uncontested.
So in this case, would have been who do we got? So just is it like right there what Chris just did to just dive the Widow? Should that be like the first goal of the tank?
So tanks are their role is to create space, and you have to think about how the enemies can take space or what it is that they're doing to create space for their own DPS. And if the enemy team has a Widowmaker, for example, and she has a huge sightline on your team, your DPS can't do anything. Because if they're smart enough to position in places to prevent them from dying, they'd stay out of the Widow's sightline. And if she has sightline on pretty much all the map, they can't go anywhere. They cannot do anything. But you guys don't really have very many squishies. But again, Widowmaker is a very important target because uncontested, she can easily kill an entire team. If they have the mechanics great enough for it. Yeah, so that wall was a great way of creating space that forced them to push back and regroup. So that's this. It's a really good spot when he jumped in, because that forces their Zen and the Ana back. But the only reason you were able to do that without getting forced out was because there wasn't anyone else there. Yeah, I think the Mei was a great choice. So again, you guys are split up, and now there's a Nano Genji running in your back line. I think he's nanoed. Maybe just boosted. But yeah, you guys got split up. Every time you split up, you guys got killed pretty quickly. Man, you guys must really enjoy interesting team comps.
Yeah.
So you have to think about what your team is capable of doing. So here, the Winston is going to be completely alone if he jumps pretty much anywhere. So usually if you're going to run Winston, run another dive hero that can work in tandem with him. So like Genji, for example. If you had Winston, Genji, and then maybe D.Va. Like, so if Chris was D.Va right now, then Chris and Louis could both dive on someone. Or if maybe Sheriff was on Genji, then Sheriff could follow Louis around, and then they can dive someone, get a kill, and either continue from there or back out if they need to. But Winston alone usually isn't a good idea.
Yeah, like I personally wanted to play D.Va, but I can't play her to a level where I think I'm good enough.
Yeah, if you're not comfortable in playing something, then
This
don't play it.
is
'Cause
going to be a
that'll
hard
make you
bait Genji. That was fun.
feel- Great trap placement leads to great kills. You also have to think about what the enemy team is capable of. Like right now, they're running Ham and Winston, and they can dive anyone and pretty much get a kill no matter what. So again, you guys are split up. You've got Monkey, who's on 2 squishies. Then you've got Hammond 1v1ing Winston. That Winston's not going to win that battle. There's no way he can outdamage that. And then you've got Tracer over here on Kami on your Ana. And then Sheriff is just off over here. You guys got split up way too hard. So their
Oh,
dive
don't forget the
succeeded
bottom.
like perfectly.
Hey, just the guy I was looking for, actually.
Hey.
Did you do the homework?
No.
Hang on.
Oh, well, I mean,
I don't know what's going on over there, but
I'm in the middle of something. Oh, sorry. Okay. What's up? I mean, you didn't do the homework, so you didn't really get help. That's fair.
yeah. So
Alright,
Sheriff,
we're
you should have just killed yourself there.
Right, because the answer according to the sheet's like 3.7366.
I think at this situation we should have just backed off.
Yeah.
Well, you guys pushed forward and killed their Hammond, and after they capped it, you should have backed off. Yeah, because you didn't have a point in being up there.
This one I was stupid and got killed because I thought I could take down the hamster, but forgot about healers.
So he's listening to it.
Because he goes over and gets trapped on my trap on the right,
You're writing notes.
and I almost get him dead, and then they come in and get me.
I got a little distracted there for a second.
Oh, I think I remember this.
That was a huge trend.
This fight. Yeah, I remember this fight.
Which one?
Again, you guys got split up. So there's a Hammond here and a Winston here, and Urana's forced into here. That got her killed. And then you've got one person here, one person over here. Sheriff was over here. You guys were way too split up.
I think we still win this fight,
Triple.
or maybe we lost. I don't know. Yeah, we did lose. Never mind.
No,
Oh, we wanted to win. Yeah.
If
You guys have to think about the team comps. It's like, I would recommend for maybe one of your guys' practice days or whatever it is you do, like take the time to learn about different team comps and what their goal is.
Yeah.
So like
No,
for
I-
dive. So the thing about dive. So say you've got Winston here, Diva here, and then the opposing team squishies are over here. And then the tanks are like right here.
Mhm.
So what the Winston and the Diva want to do, so the Winston can dive here, Diva can come up behind, and then push the tanks this way. So that leaves the squishies here alone, and then the Winston can just walk through them. So Dive's goal is to split up the squishies, and then Ryan's Zarya pretty much just to slowly walk into the enemy space and just consume it. You have to think about things like that.
Yeah.
So here,
So here's the NOTAM.
the enemy tanks dove
pages.
without any support, and you guys jumping on them is really good.
Like, what does she want me to tell her? What this says?
It forces them back,
Come on,
Yeah,
I
they
see.
still cleaned up.
and then you guys got split up again.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like their tracer pretty much walked through your backline.
It's all common sense.
So work on
Control.
peeling
Okay.
and calling out flankers. If there's ever anyone in your backline, call it out immediately.
To be honest, we kind of need the supports to go like screaming and just be like, we have people on us, so that we can like support.
Yeah. It's like if they don't get the message across, that's pretty much entirely their fault. Yeah, I've got one more.
Yeah, the last one we should have won.
So tomorrow.
I'm kind of annoyed. I died. I had the crucial rip tire and I died.
Rolled this one pretty hard for a while.
So, all right, let's go through this. So, mandatory items.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Oh, hey,
say that.
I think we've only got like, this is the last map, so
Really?
we only got like 10 minutes left.
Okay. I'll talk to you later.
Solo tank triple DPS.
Yeah.
Interesting
This one,
idea.
we knew we had lost, but so we just all went to the people that we were good at, minus Lucio Manages, who wanted to get better at Symmetra.
I mean, the comp has like no synergy, but if you guys are just messing around, then that's fine. Do we just dive in? So Bridget walking in alone against, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people.
I thought
She has
people were
self-sustained, but
behind me
not
and
that
everyone
much
else was me.
self-sustained. And you guys push back, which is good. Yeah, so Sheriff over here, him setting up a flank, that's what you want to be doing as Tracer. Right now, there's 4 people in the enemy front line, meaning there's 2 elsewhere. Let's see, there's the Lucio, the tanks, and the Mei, meaning there's Ana and a Widowmaker off on their own. Somewhere on the point, and the Tracer can easily take out both of them.
Yeah, I think that's what happens.
Tracer pushing separate angle. So right here, Sheriff could have stayed over here and then pretty much used this health pack to regain health and then come back and push in. You, as Tracer, you want to think about where you can be to disrupt the enemy backline as much as possible. Jumping on their sleeping Ana, a great play, but you could have been in the backline either forcing the Zarya to use bubbles or killing the Zarya or the Ana who's somewhere in cafe over here. Actually, I think that's the Ana. The Widowmaker that's somewhere in cafe.
Yeah, the Widowmaker just destroyed us.
Yeah.
Honestly, like when I was playing Doomfist, I didn't realize that we only had one tank until like halfway through. Yeah, so
we don't really have any set comps that we're like, okay, this is what we're like really good at together as a team. We're just, the problem is we've yet to get like a steady amount of 6 people together that show up every practice and that we can go through together.
Yeah. So again, the Tracer sitting in the front line could be all the way over here with all this open space. You got the point, you got over here, you got pretty much everywhere in the enemy backline.
I like how Sheriff is just getting roasted, and he's not here.
Well, the rest of you guys are pretty much like walk in, die. All I heard was someone screaming, "Heal me!"
Yeah, that triple.
Yeah, the reason you guys kept dying was because their Reinhardt was able to just walk through you because there wasn't enough direct tank pressure on the front line. It's like
But we
Chris
got our Graviton before they did.
punched them back a few times. True. Not by much, but true.
Honestly, I thought
Wow, that
in
was
my
a resolution drop.
yeah, at this moment I thought like I'm gonna try to combo with Louis with our ults, and then we kind of got screwed over here.
Yeah, so here, once you guys graphed and you heard beat, pretty much that was just a dry push. That's where you should have just focused everyone down as much as possible just to force ults. Like, they've already used 2, might as well force the rest of them out. And then here you guys get split up again and then killed one by one. Yeah, the pick onto Widow was pretty much what you guys needed.
Yeah, and I think we pushed through after this.
Yes, I believe so.
Look at my Moira.
So you guys are pushing without your tank, which isn't advised, but you guys already have a few picks to begin with. So that's okay as long as you can. So that right there, that play by Chris was amazing. There's the Reinhardt here. He was up here, pushed him all the way over here. So even if Sheriff was down here, he still has this huge sight line after that shield was moved. Huge play by Chris. But you guys still end up splitting up.
Yeah, we're really good at not being a team.
I think I still get some other people.
Yeah, Chris is pulling all the work here.
Nah, I get slowed down by that May.
Sheriff uncontested kills a bunch of people.
Mainly just the other widow. I
No,
think,
the sheriff is just killing people by himself. Yeah.
Yeah, but that last push, that play by Chris put the entire enemy team in distraught. They had to recover really quickly, otherwise they would have lost that one. But you guys didn't have enough time to react.
Yeah, if we had another tank, we might have been able to take the point.
You guys had Zarya Diva.
Oh, did we? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe like a main tank to pressure them. Oh, did we take the point? I'm not sure.
So Lucio over here pushes all the way into the enemy backline and gets focused down so much, forcing the nano boost. If you're pushing alone, don't do it. Not good.
If you're pushing alone, don't do it. Okay.
Not good. Unless you know for a fact you can get kills that are worth it, don't do it.
Yeah, like with Doomfist, I would do it because I have my ultimate to get out. But other than that, I wouldn't do it with anything else.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
those are the
Chris
type of
going
things you have to
down.
think about. Yeah, and then you guys win this one. Almost lost that right there.
Yeah, but here was the trouble. Like their Widow had like sidelines on all of us, so we kind of got screwed.
Yeah, you have to kind of set up enough space for your Widow to push in. So, like, if the enemy Widow being here has this whole sight line, you guys need to get a Rein, because then the Reinhardt can block that, and then your Widow can easily shoot her in the face.
Yeah, I should have switched probably.
I've been looking into doing some more main tank stuff.
Wild Widowmaker flank.
Yeah, this is where she tears all of us apart.
Yeah, the open sight lines just gives her free damage.
But hey, I got the Genji.
You know, at this point, I think going all dive and just going after the Widow wouldn't be a bad idea too.
Yeah, I think that either Dive or Reinhardt would have been able to help you guys a lot. Yeah, see, once Sheriff shut down their Widow, you guys were able to expand out, but didn't
Yeah.
have enough pressure behind it.
Nice camera angles.
Yeah, I was pretty, like,
I'm just kidding.
trying
there
to
we
be
go.
involved, but not really trying to be involved, if that makes sense. Minimal effort.
No, I appreciate anything with this.
Again, the Genji. So I don't understand how the heck he like dashed around that post, but so again, silver mistake. There's the one Genji against, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 people that can shoot him right now, and I don't think you guys ended up killing him.
No.
The Diva pushes him out, but you shouldn't have pursued that far.
Yeah, Shepard got some pretty good kills here though.
Just can't carry hard enough. So here, you guys should have just left. Chris launching back into the entire enemy team. But yeah, the back cap, that was a good idea.
Yeah, the problem was they grouped up too fast for us.
Yeah. And you guys don't have a healer. You should have regrouped. And you guys do regroup.
Honestly, like the amount of damage that they did to us, I was kind of impressed. Because like even though we were in the graph, we had the Moira healing us. and then Sheriff had to die because he
I'm
it was
looking at this right
taken
now.
down.
It's getting inappropriate.
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys had a Reinhardt, that would have helped you a lot. But yeah, the Widow switch was a really good idea. Whoop-de-doo.
We all good?
Sorry about that. Internet went out.
Oh, no worries. We have this a time or two.
My entire computer's lagging. I don't know what's going on. There we go.
Start.
Okay, it's still freaking out. Arguing about playing on it. There we go. Yeah, so only having 3 people up here, as soon as their Winston was here, you all get out. That just proves that you shouldn't have been up there. If you can't hold the spot, then you don't need the spot. And then right here, yeah, they have high ground and they just walk across to you guys.
Oh, but that shot though.
But you guys do manage to clean up while they're spread apart.
Yeah, I'd honestly say that this is probably our best defensive comp that we've got. When this right here with the Orisa and the Junkrat.
Yeah. So here they have 2 flankers. When the enemy team has flankers, you have to constantly think about what they can do. So they can go through here up to your back line. They can go through here. They can go around up top. You have to always be thinking about what they can do, especially if you're playing support like Ana. You have to constantly think about how they're going to show up, when they're going to show up, where they're going to come from, so you know what you can do, where you can go to avoid dying. A huge pick from Sheriff shuts their entire push down. See, and then their Sombra is simply sitting in your backline waiting for the perfect opportunity to show up and shoot some people to distract your backline. And then, well, so huge coordinated play. So there's Sombra made Sheriff turn around. While he turns around, the entire enemy team rushes through there. That's supposed to be
That's
narrow.
interesting.
Yeah, so that completely changed the way you guys had to play that. Huge play on their part. There we go. And then you guys are able to kind of sort of group up, and then Chris kind of walks away, hammering people. Again. You're alone. Already did what they were trying to do. And he almost dies for that. Yeah, so Chris was alone again, and then that got one of your tanks killed. Your other tank almost died the same way. Yeah, and then they just pretty much split you up and kill you one by one.
Like a true serial killer.
And then there's Chris.
Yeah, so again, you guys have to think about what the enemy team comp is going to be trying to do and how you can prevent that. Like, not splitting up. So again, you've got one DPS over here, another DPS over here, and then you've got the rest of your team over here. They don't have enough pressure on the enemy front line by themselves. The Junkrat needs to be over here. And now Lucio's off on his own. And the Junkrat dies because he was alone. And then Chris charges in and dies because he was alone. And then again, picked one by one. Junkrat Reaper, that's a very anti-tank comp. Yeah, you guys staggered. They ran. So while you guys were grouping up right here, there were like 3 of you, and then they nanobladed, killed pretty much all of you, and then all that was left was the other 3 that were forced to walk onto point but didn't make it. Yeah, so biggest thing is figuring out whether you guys are diving, grouping, flanking. You have to think about that. Never have one person alone. Either 4-2, 3-3, 2-2-2. Never have a person alone. Unless it's a tracer. Because against contrary belief, Genji isn't a heavy backline flanker. He's more of a poke from an off angle with easy access to the rest of your team.
I have a meeting in about 5 minutes.
Oh.
I gotta go to, so.
Oh. Thanks, buddy.
Also, this is a funny video. I'll post it in the group.
Okay.
I'm on tonight. I have a GR to study for.
Fine. All right, thanks, Nate.
Okay, so figure out team comps. Never have someone alone. Biggest team things we can work on. All right, I think those are definitely hitters that we can, or goals that we can achieve.
Sounds good.
All right, anything else?
I think that's pretty much it.
Sounds good. Sweet. Okay. Chris, Josh, thanks for showing up. I'm probably gonna do some comp if you guys want to join, but
I have to brief the major tomorrow.
Yeah, just read off the op order.
She's gonna roast me for doing that. You know that, right?
No. Is she expecting just a normal brief?
She's expecting a full-on brief about Comps Challenge.
I mean, you've briefed her before.
No, I
right?
haven't.
Oh, dude, she wants you to brief you like you would the MT. If this was a real squadron, the MT officer would brief the squadron commander. Hey, this is what's gonna happen. Here's what's gonna go on. I think you're reading too much into it. All you literally got to do is make big notes and say, here's what's gonna happen.
I talked to Rachel. She briefed Major S on a recognition last year. Had to be super in detailed. Yes. That's why I'm worried about it.
Well, if you want me to look over it, I can when you're done, or when you're making it. But yeah, that Titan. That's it for us.
Thank you.
If you got any tips on how we can not fall while climbing the SR ladder, that.
Hey, if you have any open
That's a different
spaces, can I join
conversation.
you?
What'd you say?
I don't know. Someone mentioned comp, and I was asking if I could join that person.
Oh yeah, Striker's gonna play, or Sparky, depending on what county plays.
Chris, you gonna join in? Or actually, no, he's got a project. Never mind. All right, looks like it's just you and me, Titan.
All right.
All right, we'll just do in-game chat then.
All right.
Adios, gents. Thanks a bunch.
You know.
No problem. See ya.